Right then, we're back on the Kop TV after a win. Myself and Federico Chiesa. He didn't travel. He's here in Liverpool. I will
grab the other side of the scarf eventually, but look at that. I look great. I do. I look,
do you know what?
I look fantastic.
Good.
So does he.
Feels
look
good.
How gorgeous he looks, by the way. Isn't that fantastic? I might have not even got that on shot. Right, what are we talking about? Start with a great question in which you do on a week-to-week basis.
Smash a like button first and foremost. Get your comments in.
Like those.
Right? What did you think of the game? Subscribe to James Redmond TV.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the Kop TV. My first question for you is how good does that feel to get not only a win away in Europe, but also a clean sheet, Jay?
Safe footy. I love safe footy. I was saying to all the boys before.
Safe footy won the day today.
Safe footy won the day. And also, you've got to remember, we conceded 10 goals in 3 games, and about 6 of those came at Anfield. I was not going to be willing to see... No, 7 of those came at Anfield. I was not willing to see that football be continuous going forward. And tonight, it was just sound, standard. Was it a bit boring? Yeah. Did we feel like there could have been a clumsy moment from an individual like we've seen in pretty much every other game this season? Absolutely.
But there wasn't really any.
There wasn't really any, and that's the thing. The players are fixed up. And you know, if Jamie Carragher's watching this, he's going to be absolutely over the moon, isn't he?
He will
he's going to be... He literally said this is going to be his favourite ever
listen,
win.
Forget Carragher, forget Salah at this stage. Let's talk about the game, right? Liverpool. We go 1-0 up. I was going to land on something there, but you see what I mean? Interrupts with the questions, interrupts with the... It's very rude, that. It is very rude. I've been second fan cam in ages, by the way, and he's just gone, oh yeah, my questions, not your answers. But I don't want the focus to not be on this big win for Liverpool tonight, and let's do the analysis, as Matisse would say, on the weekend roundup.
Big up to Matisse.
I agree with you, James. It wasn't sexy, it wasn't outrageous, it wasn't really pushing the boundaries. We contained them. In the first half, there was a couple of flash efforts, but there was nothing really, apart from that header that Alisson had to do. We obviously feel like, and this is the first flashpoint we need to talk about, that for me, I mean, we've got different opinions on this. Van Dijk heads the ball as if to go towards the goal, and it comes off Ekitike's armish, we'll call it, area. Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, that goal should stand.
Leonardo Yoro puts it onto Harry Maguire's arm. Then it bounces off his arm. It goes on.
This is Champions League.
It goes onto Bruno Fernandes' head. You're taking that, and you're not saying nothing about it. No, exactly. So do you know that pause? It's actually just dismissed everything you've said, and it's made it subjective, right? So when it's subjective, you've got to give the referee a bit of thing. Now listen, no one loves hating referees more than me, but you know what? I'm a fair man, especially in my older age. Do you know what I mean? Back in the day,
older age of about 23.
That's very rude. Very rude.
Well, you're not 23.
By the way, wrong, by the way. No, wrong.
Why are you 24?
24. 24. Very wrong.
Recently, by the way, that was. Because I know when your birthday is.
June 24, by the way. June. We were about nearly halfway
back
there.
To the game.
Back to the game. Essentially, where was we? Where was we?
You can tell he's not done this in a while, James.
No, where was we?
No, basically the handball.
Oh yeah, the handball, wasn't it?
The alleged handball.
It was one of them where if you gave it, I'm taking it. But if you don't give it, I'm alright with it.
But we're watching us tonight, and I look at, if that had hit his hand first and then Virgil's arm, I think there's a different discourse around it. But because it's Virgil heading it towards that area, and it gets lifted up by, Ekitike,
his arm,
the ref goes to the screen, and obviously they pause it for so long on that screenshot. They don't really play the video for him. They pause it there. And obviously he's going to give a disallow the goal when it gets to that stage. But should it have got to that stage?
Yeah, I felt in the end it wasn't a bad decision. But obviously that's where you differ with me. I don't think it was too bad.
The goal should have stood. In the Premier League, I think that goal counts.
I don't think it matters where it is. I feel like the fans make up their own rules a lot of the time. We don't look at the rule book every single once in a while. If that was against me, if Inter Milan had that same scenario, I'd be like, I think that should be disallowed. That's the way I like to look at it.
Let us know what you think in the comments about that one there. Splitting the old opinion here, but listen, we go into
I gotta love a bit of devil's advocate.
Yeah, you go into half time 0-0. Second half, 10 minutes in, not really much happening. No. Then we start to kind of again grow on that control in terms of possession at least, but still no clear-cut chances. We make the changes. Bradley and Wirtz come on 67 minutes. At this stage, I'd probably say maybe Curtis or Dom was probably the man of the match at this stage. But then Bradley and Wirtz come on. What impact did they make?
both brilliant. What I liked about Conor Bradley, getting forward, getting direct against their fullbacks, which is exactly what you need in them scenarios. And I also think as well with Wirtz, again, just a man who sets the tempo. And this, the interesting thing is that once the players have got adapted to that man, because sometimes it is just the case that someone's a bit better than everyone else. And at certain things, he's very much better than everyone else. And that's setting the tempo, that's making sure that he can control the game. Where we need to see the improvement from Wirtz is the end product, because that's what's going to satisfy our eyes when we look at the stat sheet and it goes 12 goals, 15 assists. Ultimately, we're not there yet. But when he came on that game, we weren't going to get anything without him. Not to mention he won what?
Should he have started the game?
Going with safe football. Give him rest. He's played a lot of games recently as well in the absence of Salah. So I think, listen, Arne Slot has always been about approaching the players with a rest mentality, and I'm alright with Wirtz not starting. It worked out in the end as well. He won us the penalty. So ultimately, if you've made an impact off the bench, manager made the right choice, and he was great off the bench.
Yeah, and then the decision comes to give Liverpool a penalty.
That's
now,
right.
Obviously, it's Bastoni.
You're gonna like me a lot more, yeah? You're gonna like me.
Listen, it was kind of a flicked up ball by Ekitike. There wasn't much chance of Wirtz beating Bastoni in the air from that distance. I mean, he was only 6 foot away from him. He kind of loses the head of Wirtz, but moves towards the ball, and Bastoni just, I think there's like at least 2 tugs
He just
there.
took a big hole out of my coat there. Are you going to buy a new one, by the way?
There's nothing.
Couple hundred quid these. Couple hundred quid. Long nails.
Do you think, I mean, listen, it's a foul anywhere else on the pitch, but is it, I mean, it was given as a pen.
It's a foul there.
Yeah.
You just said anywhere on the pitch, in the boxes, anywhere on the pitch. That was a foul. That was a foul all day, every day, baby boy. It doesn't matter about where it was. It was about the fact that he's held onto his shirt in a play where he could have went for the ball. He's done it snide, and that's why Bastoni's world class. But ultimately, that's the good thing about VAR. You can reflect on those decisions. I'm glad VAR called it out. I'm glad the referee gave it because I thought it was the right decision. And I know that you didn't like me before about the handball thing. Ultimately, this one, I don't think there was any subjectivity.
Has justice almost been done in that way that I think the goal should have stood? We've got a soft penalty. I mean, that's what Alan Shearer said. It was soft.
I'll put it this way. Alan Shearer says a lot of things, and that's fine.
That's
do you know what I mean?
We all do.
Top goal scorer of the Premier League of all time. I haven't got that accolade. That being said, I felt that was quite obvious in the fact that Wirtz could have went and got the ball. But if people do want to have a problem with it, guess what, baby boy? We deserved that goal earlier on, didn't we? Yeah. With the handball, so it's fine. Forget everything I said before.
Yeah, absolutely. Just delete
Agenda's
it.
after run, you know what I'm saying?
100%. So listen, it's a 1-0 win. It's a clean sheet, Jay.
It's a clean sheet.
This is a team, by the way, who have not been beaten in 18 games at the San Siro in the Champions League. 3 years it's been since the last team won there.
Yeah. When was the last time we leant up against a wall, by the way?
No, we're just comfy, aren't we, at this stage on the Kop TV?
We're comfy after the win. Question again, come on. My memory's not great, come on, question again.
So, I'll go again, shall I? Clean sheet.
Yeah.
Big confidence booster.
Yeah.
When you look at what it means in terms of the table, 12 points now, closer to securing that top 8.
Not wrong.
I mean, it's a massive confidence booster in a week what has had so much turmoil on and off the pitch. I mean, it just on paper, that's a massive result, isn't it, for Liverpool?
Yeah, definitely big for the confidence, big for the change recently, and everything that's happened with Salah as well. I just think it's what the players need. But Alisson said it best, and I think if anyone wants to have an opinion on the Salah stuff, for instance, I think you should go and watch what Alisson said about the Salah situation, that he understands, or he should understand, that there should be a consequence for what happened. But the players have to stick together because it's Liverpool first, and I think that's the way the players approached it tonight, because not one player, as you said before, and all the other lads off camera, no one really put in any mad stinkers, and it felt like mentally we were together. It felt like mentally there was a unity about everything, and that's all we've needed in recent time. Oh, I look smaller now, so I'll go back up. Yeah, it was superb overall, and that's where, I haven't been able to say this for a long time on a camera with Jack behind it, you with the microphone. I've loved every single bit of that game, and I know that it wasn't super exciting. I know it weren't Jurgen Klopp in its prime, but sometimes you do just need a little bit of composure, and you need that unity together. So to see every single player singing off the same hymn sheet, I'll be honest, Alex, it was beautiful. Yeah,
I think the manager has to take some credit tonight, because the pressure on him, I mean, rightly deserved pressure when you're a Liverpool manager and you've lost that many games. But I think the way he approached it tonight with the diamond, he thought, what, I'll try something different tonight. Mo's not here, so guess what? We'll go with 2 up top. I'm not saying that the link up was perfect between the strikers, and that's for another debate. We'll do that in the player ratings video. But it was enough from Liverpool tonight, and I'm just so glad that we kept a clean sheet, and we did seem to have that togetherness that you talk about there.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong, and that's just what we need to see going forward, and the only way you can start that, and I know that people are going to laugh at it because the way we drew against Leeds and also the draw against Sunderland was very underwhelming, but 4 games unbeaten. And obviously that momentum needs to pick up even more. I was speaking to BMAC before, and obviously he was saying as well, we can't just be accepting draws, and he's absolutely right. But when you've just came off the back of conceding 10 goals in 3 games, losing every single one of those games in humiliating fashion, on top of everything that's happened with Salah as well, you've got to take the running games.
It's such a big win, that.
It's a huge win. And you know, again, I'll summarise this video with the Salah talk, because I did say to you off camera that I wanted to mention it. And the thing is it's not a time to even be bashing Salah. It's not a time for the fan base to be going at it. We need to back the team going into games. And if they're putting in performances like that, let the off-the-pitch politics be the off-the-pitch politics. We forget there was a lot of those. There was Mane and Salah at one point. There was also Jurgen Klopp and Salah at one point. There was Jurgen Klopp. Everyone with Pep Lijnders. Pep Lijnders did things at times. Politics happen off the pitch, but if you're winning football matches, you're all together. All I'd encourage the fan base to do, let's factor in a little bit of the summer of what happens. Let's understand that a lot of these players are going through a lot of different things, including Salah, by the way, and that's something that people need to understand in this, and it's a very foreign feeling for him to be out of the team at the moment. That being said, Liverpool have just won a football match tonight, so it's not about Mo Salah. When he's ready to come back into the team after AFCON, we more than welcome him, especially if he has that unity with Arne Slot. But Arne Slot needs to get the best out of these players right now. These players need to get the best out of themselves, so that the fan base can get on one common ground, which is Liverpool are winning football matches. Let's get back in arms. Yeah.
You know what, well said. When you talk about the connection, under Jurgen Klopp in the peak, there was the holy trinity that you had as like a connecting force. You had the fans, the staff and the players all fighting on the same hymn sheet. I feel like if we can just put some wins together, hopefully that brings harmony throughout, you know, the squad and off the pitch and on the pitch as well, and we get back into rhythm. Because after the rhythm that we've been on, Jay, a result like this,
huge.
I mean, listen, we've just beaten San Siro, and the last time we've just beaten Inter Milan at the San Siro, and the last time we'll ever play there. That's a massive win, and that's the kind of result on paper, and they've got wicked form. That's the kind of result on paper that you go, actually, that could be the start of something. We could have turned a corner. That's a massive result.
But one thing I'm going to give credit to a lot of the viewers watching this, and you'll agree with me, we now need to see this on a consistent basis.
Yeah, 100%. But it's a good start.
But this is why I actually think sometimes Sunderland draw looks bad in the moment, Leeds draw looks terrible in the moment with the way that it happens. That being said, 4 games unbeaten. Let's keep that momentum going 100%. And just make sure we see no more red boxes in our record box.
Greys. I want to see greens.
No, I agree with you. But if you get to a point where you've gone 10 games unbeaten, Sunderland and Leeds.
Do you know what, bro? Going into that Brighton game off the back of this.
Sorry to interrupt you, carry on in a sec. I just need the losing mentality to go out of my team. That's all I need. I need you to be able to hang on in games, even if it is for a draw at times.
And we did today well. Do you know what? I got to big up the defence. There was a lot of moments where, you know, they're trying to break. Konate shows his force and removes the player out of the equation. You know, I thought everyone was good tonight, Jay. There was no passengers. I mean, obviously, I'm not too used to seeing, you know, McAllister pushing up right at the top with Isak. I mean, the strikers tonight, not amazing. No, he wasn't. But they weren't a lot built for them, and I think that was by design almost. I noticed there was moments where we get in and around their final third. There was a moment where Conor Bradley actually got past the fullback, and nobody followed in. Nobody followed in. That was the chance. There was one before that though, where he went past the fullback, and no one followed in to get in on the end of the cross, because that was the crossing position that he was in. You're on about the shot. That being said, that told me we weren't willing to lose, or we weren't willing to give any vulnerability on our side for Inter. Do you understand? So if they were to get the ball off Conor Bradley crossing the ball into the box, they've got a little counter attack which we've been very susceptible to all season. So in some ways it's frustrating, because you want Conor Bradley to be able to get someone on the end of that cross, but at the same time we do need to be a bit cautious, because Arne Slot can't afford to lose again, and those players don't want to lose again. So I know I was making a joke about it in the vlog, check it out if you haven't already, but genuinely say football's our best option after them 3 losses that we had that were terrible. How big is that for Arne Slot? You just mentioned him there. I mean, we hear it again. Mario and Greg were there. They'll tell us there was a lot of support in the away end tonight for the manager. How big is that for him, confidence-wise?
Big up to Greg and Mario, by the way, 2 proper gents. In terms of what that means for the manager, he knows the score. He's had bad results this season. He's heard Anfield screaming his name, and everyone who goes to that stadium wants to hear the name being shot. listen, it's easy to remember during the week while you've got rival fans battering you mentally and everything else on Twitter and all that. In football terms. Battering, see, you've just done a moment that didn't need to be done. That being said,
it's because it's Ty. He always says football terms.
Oh, okay, then football terms. Oh, is that a Ty joke? All right. No, big up Ty. But it's true though, you do need to get through them moments, and when the fans are on board with the manager, I like that. I've always said, listen, with the bad form, I wouldn't blame the board if they wanted to sack Arne Slot. That being said, would I sack Arne Slot? No, because I think you'd open a very awkward door where you start going down a merry-go of managers because you have this expectation we should win every season. In some ways, yes. I just think, give him a chance, you know what I mean? Yeah. Alisson said it best though, in terms of the support for the manager, and I do think, everyone says the manager's lost the players. I completely disagree 100%. I don't think there's any chance. I think if Alisson's coming out and saying that, there's no chance that dressing room's lost them. Some players might have, the ones who aren't playing. But the ones who are playing absolutely believe in the cause because he believes in them. And that's all a player needs sometimes.
100%. James said it perfectly, mate. Thank you very much. Nice one, lad. Like, comment and subscribe. Go and subscribe to the boy. He's going to be on the channel a lot more going forward. He's back. You back?
I'm back. I'm here.
Well, you're not fucking leaving.
I'm not fucking leaving.